Hi, Sand Eagles. It's Mr. Moquette. I was challenged to make this video all about Jamboard, so here it is. Challenge accepted. All right, so what I do is I log into my Gmail. I go over to my waffle, the 9 dots, click on the 9 dots, and you see that all the apps pop up. Let me just move over my screen. Okay, so let's scroll down. And it's a little ways down, but here you'll see Jamboard. Okay, I click on that. And so on my screen, you can see that I've created a Jamboard for every one of my students. And these that you notice up here are all Mr. Moquette just trying to learn how to use Jamboard. And down here, you see that I've created some for my students. Okay, so how did I do that? You might be wondering, how did you make that? Okay, so if you go down to the bottom right corner, you'll see a orange circle with a plus sign on it. And if you hover over it, it will say New Jam. So that's what you want to click on. So New Jam, and up pops a blank, crisp, brand new jam. Okay, so what I like to do first is I like to give it a title. I always use my student's name. So I'll just say Moquette for this presentation. Hit OK. All right. And next, what I like to do is I like to give it a background so it's not so plain. The one that I like, you guys can figure out which ones you like, but I like the line paper. It's just classic teacher background. And then what I like to do next is I go over here to my tools. These are all my tools. And I go down to this one that looks like a file or a copy paper. It's actually a sticky note, right? And so what I do is I click on the sticky note and up pops this screen. I can change the color of my sticky note, but I like the yellow for right now. And this is where I actually type the feedback that I have for each kid. So let's say, Moquette, you did a great job with this video today. All right. When I'm done giving feedback, I click save and it'll pop up. Now, for some students, I needed more than one sticky note because I had feedback for iReady, I had feedback for Zern, for Google Classroom. So I needed another sticky note. So what I do is I'll type in my feedback on this sticky note. And then I click save. Now let's say I was done with all the feedback. I would hit cancel. And so now I'm back on my jam and I see these sticky notes here. Now you might be thinking, oh, Mr. Moquette, those are too small. Okay, let's take a look at what we can do about that. So let's grab our cursor. You click on your sticky note. You click and drag it over. You see you have an arrow on the top left here. That means you can rotate your sticky note. If you scroll down to the corner here, you can click and drag and make it bigger. Okay, so let's do the same thing on this one. Bring it over. Let's click and drag. And there you go. Okay. Something else I like to do is I like to insert an image. So if you go down to where your tools are, underneath the sticky notes, you have where you can insert an image. Okay. I like to go to Google search. And of course, you guys know that I love boxing. And so I'll just click a quick search. All right. And I'm just going to click my favorite boxer of all time. I've got to move my screen over. Hit select. All right. And now I'm just going to move this guy over here. Of course, you can make it bigger. You can make it smaller. You can click these 3 dots and duplicate it or delete it there. Okay. And so there you have it. I mean, I pretty much gave my students or myself some feedback. I put in a nice picture. Let me show you some of these other features in case you were wondering. I didn't use them too much, but the pen here, you can write on your jam. The eraser you can use to erase. Cursor you guys have already seen. Sticky note you've already seen. Image, I just inserted one. And the laser's pretty cool if I was presenting this like I am to you guys. You can highlight something and then it goes away. Mike Tyson, best boxer of all time in my opinion. And of course the feedback. So those are the tools and you can take some time and play around with them. It's kind of fun. But let's say you were all done giving feedback and you're like, okay, I'm done with this student. I gave him his feedback. Now how do I share it? So here's how I share it. And this is why I like Jamboard. I go over here to share. I click. When I click, I get the link here. Okay, it's already highlighted for me. I could hit Control C and copy it. But before I do that, I'm going to change who has access, right? So right now it's private, only I can access it. I'm going to change that, and I'm not going to make it public because I don't want this on the internet. I only want my student and their parents to see this feedback. So I go to anyone with a link. All right, I click on that. And so now when I give that parent the link, they're going to be able to access it without signing in. Okay. So I pay attention to what it says here, where it says anyone, no sign in required. That's cool, but it says can view. And so that's what I like. If you wanted parents to give you feedback or students to comment on there, you can click can edit. My only concern was that with that is that then they can delete and move stuff around, and I don't really want that to happen. So I'm going to just leave it as can view. And then of course you hit save. Okay, and then see how it's highlighted. This is the link you want to share. Okay, so I would Control C, right? Copy that. And here's what I did, right? Because remember, I have 20 students and each link is private and unique to each kid. So each Jamboard is going to have its own link. And that's back to the link here. So now I'm done, right? Click done. I've already given feedback. I have the link. I saved it. I have it noted down in my little file system, Microsoft Word there. Okay, so now I'm ready to go to my next kid. Let's say it's Mr. Heredia. He's a student in my class and I'm going to give him feedback, right? I go to the three dots here and I scroll down to make a copy. So this is almost exactly what we do with our Google slide decks when we want to make a copy for the next day, right? So I click make a copy and now I'm going to rename it Heredia, right? I hit OK, and up pops a new Jamboard. It has some of the same things that I had on there, and of course I'm going to go in and change it. But what's nice about copying it is that now I have the picture that I wanted on there, and I have the sticky notes. All I do is click these three dots, edit, and I can go back and just change the name, change the feedback, hit save, and there you go. Okay. And what's nice about this Jamboard, like I said, each kid has their own Jamboard, but you have an unlimited amount of frames. You go up here and you click on the arrow, and now you have another frame. So how I plan to use this is each week, I'm going to have a new frame for each kid so that I can give them feedback on there. And of course, you can change the color, you can change the image, you can have fun with this. So there it is. I was going to say boys and girls, but it's all staff here, so there's no boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do have any questions, reach out to me. I'm more than willing to help. Stay safe, everyone. Stay blessed. I'll see you soon.